We've shown you the skills, now it's time for the drills. Quite hard to say that without feeling slightly awkward, I will admit, but coming up are 4 training sessions that will get you fitter and faster on your cross bike. The first 3 are all designed to be done off-road. Oh yeah, winner. They are pretty intense though, so do make sure that you're nicely warmed up before you start any of the intervals. Think about your effort levels over the course of a cyclocross race. They are basically all over the place. You've got flat out sprints, you've got longer, more prolonged efforts, and you've also got times when there's no power going through the pedals at all. But those periods of recovery can be all too brief, and so that means micro interval training sessions can be exceedingly effective for cross races. For this session, you just need to find like a really short 20-second hill or bank to run up, and one that's on a really short circuit. Ideally, you want to sprint into the hill on the bike, run up it for 20 seconds, and then sprint for 10 seconds over the top after remounting your bike. Freewheel back down, and then repeat it 8 times. The idea is that your recovery should actually be shorter than the length of the micro interval itself, or at least no longer. And then in terms of how many sets of 8 that you need to do, because I'm afraid 8 is actually just 1 set, then it does depend on your actual overall fitness level, but I personally try and aim to do 3 sets. Often being specific is the way to go, and nothing is quite so specific as setting up your own mini cyclocross course. Now this, just like the previous one, is not only going to improve your fitness but also work on those key cyclocross skills. So what we want to do is to work out a lap that's going to take us about 5 minutes to complete when we are pretty much flat out. On that lap we want to have a run up, a hurdle of some kind, and then anything that's kind of typical of cyclocross where you are. In Northern Europe that means gloopy mud and plenty of it. Now fortunately we're not short of that right here at this time of year. Then it's really simple. We're going to do 1 lap almost flat out before taking half a lap of recovery, riding really easily, before repeating anywhere from 4 to 8 times depending on our fitness levels. Now this kind of interval duration is great for boosting your VO2 max, which is a key component of your cyclocross ability, as well as getting you used to handling technical terrain when quite frankly you're breathing out of your backside. Session 3 is another one that's going to get us fitter and work on a key cyclocross skill, clipping in. Actually, who are we kidding? That's not just a cyclocross skill, that is a life skill. Anyway, you want to find a nice simple section of trail or gravel road that's not in any way technical. You then need to come after a good warm-up to a complete stop. Take a deep breath and get ready for interval 1. This is very simple. You clip in as quickly as you can and then sprint as hard as you can for 30 seconds. Immediately followed by 90 seconds of riding at 10% over your FTP. Now if you're going on field, which many of us are on our cross bikes at least, that's hard but not quite flat out. Then at the end of that you just got to turn around, ride gently back to the starting point and repeat 5 to 8 times. Now this is a session that is really going to prepare you for the type of effort that you'll make at the start of a race. Now our 4th and final session can be done either on the road or on the indoor trainer. Now it is quite complicated, so that is definitely a plus for the indoor trainer. And also, let's face it, it's winter, so let's take any excuse we can. Now, despite being on a smart trainer with a power meter, I'm actually going to go old school. I'm going to use, wait for it, heart rate. Remember that? After your warm-up, gradually get your heart rate up towards threshold over the course of about 6 to 8 minutes. Now, once you hit your threshold heart rate, keep it there for 30 seconds and then ride easily until your heart rate goes down by 5%. At which point, you then press hard on the pedals again to get your heart rate back up to threshold. Now my threshold heart rate is about 180, so that means I then need to let it drop down to 170 before then accelerating again and getting it back up to 180. I then hold it for 30 seconds before repeating until I've ticked off a block of 20 minutes. Then I get 10 minutes recovery, and then I've got to try and do it all over again. Now, the idea behind this session is that we get in some really sustained hard work, but we're varying our effort levels and getting in those little micro recovery sections that really replicate the demands of a cyclocross race. And you can also vary your efforts within those 20-minute blocks as well. So sometimes I might try and accelerate and get my heart rate back to 180 as quickly as possible. Other times I might do it more gradually and sustained over a couple of minutes. But either way, really get you used to those changes of intensity that you get in a cross race. Well, there are your 4 cyclocross training sessions that can not only help you finish your season in style, but hopefully set you up for the future as well. Do make sure you let us know in the comment section down below how you get on with these, and also if you have any favourite sessions as well. Always interested, we're always looking for tips basically. And before you suggest drills to practice getting on and off, no, that's not funny, even if I probably need it. Now, do make sure you subscribe to GCN if you don't already. To do that, just click on the globe. And if you want to watch a couple more videos right now, we have the top 5 essential cyclocross skills just down there, and also one about how you find your functional threshold heart rate, particularly useful for session 4. That one's just down there.